효진아, 보고 싶구나. 언제나 불러보고 생각나고 달려가 안아주고 떼놓고 싶지 않은 착하고 귀엽고 귀하고 사랑스러운 아들이요 딸이구나. 효진아, 일시 떨어져 있긴 하지만 너희들은 행복한 하늘의 아들이요 딸이다. 자나깨나 항상 작은 것에서 큰 것에, 작은 일에서 큰 일에 하늘과 의논하고 하늘을 앞세워 생활하는 너희들이 되어야 더 큰 축복과 사랑이 함께 하신단다. 아빠와 엄마는 뜻을 따라 항상 바쁜 생활로 너희들과 지내는 시간이 적어 무척 아쉬우나 엄마도 아빠도 네가 있음으로 든든히 생각한다. 효진아, 넌 보통 아이들과는 다르단다. 딴 아이들과 어울리더라도 너의 근본은 하늘의 품위를 손상시켜서는 안 된다. 그러니 남보다 더 열심히 배우고 노력하여 너의 실력을 풍부히 키워야 한단다. 그러려면 남들이 살 때도 넌 노력해야 되고 1분 1초가 아쉬움을 느껴야 된단다. 아빠 엄마는 항상 널 자랑스럽게 생각한단다.
Forefront of realizing world peace through the true family. In order to do this, Mrs. Moon spread the word, traveling thousands of miles, one nation per day. She went to Korea, Taiwan, Japan, America's Capitol Hill, the UN headquarters, the Kremlin Palace in Russia, the Great Hall of the People in China, the Middle East area, that is the origin of Christianity and Islam, many nations in Europe, and even the high mountains of South America and the jungles of Africa. Even the malaria in Africa and the communist world that denies God could not stop her march. Visiting all corners of the earth in 3 short months, and the fact that she was successful in leading rallies in 113 cities all over the world. She toured various places in the world more than 1,000 times. Mrs. Moon's lectures were the providence of God and the miracle of heaven. Mrs. Moon's lecture at the Capitol Hill in America was special. The American government was so moved by Mrs. Moon's lecture that they declared July 8th as Parents' Day, and it is commemorated each year. Moreover, she gave hundreds of lectures in order to wake up the university students who were to become the leaders of the future. The title of her lecture, given in 40 universities in Korea and 100 universities in America, was The True Parents and the Age of Holy Testimony. The Korean lectures were difficult, especially because of a few leftist students who physically blocked her entrance and threatened to harm her. Later, she proclaimed the words of the Holy Testimony with Reverend Moon.
I ask you to devote your best efforts as true parents have toward creating God's ideal family, ideal nation, and the peace kingdom. Please become true princes and princesses who can attend and live together with God, the eternal peace king, as the true parents of humanity.
What kind of God's purpose of creation, the providence of salvation, and the secrets behind the human fall, which was the start of the sinful world? What kind of being is God, and where does the history lead? The words of the Holy Testimony reveal the secrets hidden in the Old and New Testament. Their powerful words created a great ripple of reaction. Their words contain the path, the truth, and the true life, and the love of God. Mrs. Moon still travels the world with her burning desire to continue saving people until every last suffering person on the earth is saved. Lectures that started with her soft smile were sodden with tears as she conveyed the heart of God. The heartbreaking pains of the providence are infused in every single word and pause. The truth that the true peace begins from family, that the family overflowing with absolute faith and love is the origin of peace and happiness. Those words give hope and inspiration that resonates within the soul, changes societies, and renews the world. When she was at a place where she could not be with her husband, they gave energy to each other over video telephones or over the internet. Mrs. Moon's lectures led to a civilian summit conference. The former President George H.W. Bush and his wife, the President of Dominica, the President of Uruguay, the Vice President of Uganda, the Nicaraguan Minister of Defense, and the Mongolian head of the Congress, Mrs. Moon is now treated as a special guest wherever she goes. She spreads the message of a peaceful world through the true family as she has close conversations with current and former national leaders of our society. Everyone who meets Mrs. Moon is moved by her love and truthfulness. Many universities in the world have given honorary doctorates to Mrs. Moon. They recognize Mrs. Moon's selfless acts which have contributed to the peace of the world and the humanity. The turning of the millennium, 1999. In this year alone, Mrs. Moon spread the word for the realization of a peaceful world through the model of the true family in 80 cities, 35 nations. Then she erected the new order by resolving the complicated history of the past with the principle and love. She made the rebirth possible for all people, from the beginning of time to the eternity, from individuals to the cosmos. On June 14th, 1999, Reverend Moon gave his wife a citation that said, "You have completed the mission of a true child for the heaven, the mission of true wife for your husband, and the mission of a true parent for your children." Mrs. Moon was showered with the grace of heaven and earth.
因否认神的纳粹，使欧洲大陆经历悲惨的历史，失去家园和亲人的灵魂，因饥饿、苦役和残忍的活体实验而失去生命的冰人的尸体堆得像山一样高。为了经历1700万名大屠杀痛苦的欧洲，真父母在纳粹集中营中最大并且因为最残忍而臭名昭著的毛特豪森集中营里给予了特别检验室。检验室上准备了衣帽，并且献上神圣的精诚。
이곳 마우타우젠 수용소와 HH천원 정심원을 참사랑의 고속도로로 연결해 주시어서 여기에서 지상천국을 거쳐 천상천국으로 출발하는 영원한 해방의 날이 되게 하여 주시옵소서. 이 자리에서 새로운 역사가 출발될 수 있게 하여 주시옵소서.
用解愿和祝福打开神欧洲大陆新时代的真父母。